Man behind the YouTube channel Wild Happiness documents his experiences surviving in some of the most unforgiving corners of the natural world. His content largely revolves around fishing, hunting, and living completely off the grid deep in the wilderness. For this particular video, shot toward the tail end of winter, he took his snowmobile deep into the taiga, covering dozens of miles before finding a suitable place to make camp. He recorded the whole setup process in detail, clearing away snow, getting his tent secured, gathering and stacking wood, and preparing himself for a night entirely disconnected from the outside world. Right as he was winding down for the night and switched his camera off, he suddenly picked up the sound of something moving through the snow just outside his tent. It was 2 in the morning. He pushed outside to figure out what or who might be prowling around his shelter.
Друзья, спокойной ночи. Короче, друзья, блин, я же слышал. Капец, реально волки, друзья. Во-во-во, прям вообще хорошо слышно. Да ну нафиг, я, короче, домой.
That's when the howling and snarling of an entire wolf pack started reverberating through the pitch-black forest. The atmosphere was nothing short of terrifying. After letting a few colorful words slip into the camera, he concluded that the smartest move was to stay tucked inside his tent and wait it out until daylight. The pack had clearly caught wind of him, and the threat of an attack was very real. Somewhere deep in the Alaskan backcountry, a solo homesteader who goes by Girl in the Woods was filming her journey to construct a remote log cabin entirely on her own. With nothing but dense black spruce forest surrounding her, and no help for miles, she spent her days felling trees, clearing ground, and establishing a temporary tent camp. Her dogs, her only companions.
There we go. Well, here I am at my log pile in Alaska. These are the logs that I cut, peeled, and stacked 2 years ago. So they are thoroughly dry and ready to go. And I'm sure you're all wondering, when am I going to build this thing? Well, because my mom was at the end of her life.
The daylight hours felt calm. After dark was a different story. Somewhere around 3 in the morning, she was snapped out of sleep by slow, heavy footsteps, moving deliberately through her campsite. The pace wasn't frantic. There was no sign of fear. Whatever was out there moved with purpose and mass. She reached for her bear spray and stayed perfectly still, listening to branches crack just outside. When daylight came,
I was woken up at about 3 o'clock in the morning to a big commotion, and it was scary. I didn't know what was going on out here, but I grabbed my bear spray and heard something heavy-footed. I thought, oh, it's probably moose, but there was a big noise. And then this morning, I wake up to find this. This is where my shower tent was, and it was down, laying across the trees over here, and it was all shredded. And I thought, well, 60 yards apart. And the shower tent's right there. So I stood this back up so I could kind of recreate what happened here. I think this is the point of impact back here.
what she found was impossible to brush off. Her shower tent, pitched roughly 50 yards from where she'd been sleeping, had been completely destroyed, flattened, torn open, and shredded. Heavy-duty fabric had been ripped clean through. Bamboo mats were gnawed apart. Bite marks sat at face level. This was no curious sniff around. It was raw, deliberate force. A bear had moved through her camp under cover of darkness close enough to have reached her sleeping shelter. That evening,
this is about face level to me. You can see the real light, like, probably came down, probably pushed it down. This is all ripped up. Probably teeth marks here. This is what it looks like from the inside. Can you imagine being in here and that? Hello. No, thank you. That's like Freddy Krueger, just terrifying. So, and then it ripped up this bamboo mat too. It was in there.
She repositioned her trail cameras and went to bed with her bear spray right beside her, knowing one thing without any doubt: the wilderness had already pushed against her limits, and the next visit might not end with just a ruined tent.
But the tent itself is gone. I think what I'm gonna do tonight is just leave this back up. I mean, chances that it'll be back is probably not a lot, but I'm gonna set up my trail cameras tonight around camp and see what happens, but hopefully it won't be back.
In April of 2026, a YouTube channel called Paranormal Discovery uploaded footage recorded along Ghost Road, a remote stretch of dense Canadian wilderness. The channel specializes in paranormal investigations and expeditions into off-the-grid locations. On this particular outing, Lomar and his companion Chelsea set out to find an unmarked lake rumored to be tucked somewhere within the surrounding mountain range.
We'd come back to this lot. It's pretty hot today, but yeah, I kind of discovered something about this area. I actually was looking for a lake. I'm like, I hope there's a lake in here. That they did have lakes scattered. It was really, like, it was a long time ago. So I'm like, you know what could be different? Something that's just new, refreshing.
They started by pushing into the forest and following a rough trail toward a lake Lomar had spotted on an old map, right around the point where their cell signal dropped out entirely near the trailhead. The atmosphere felt off almost immediately. Before they'd gone very far, Lomar stumbled upon a makeshift shelter, a blue tarp strung between spindly branches, surrounded by rusted cans and scattered debris. Whoever had set it up was long gone. Without any prompting, the Spirit Talker app they were carrying picked up the word power out of nowhere.
Yo, I think I just found someone's camp. That's like a shelter, a rain shelter. Yeah, that's dead ass a rain shelter. The fuck? What is this? It's like old cans. Yo, this is trippy. Is someone camping your key? There's nothing though, but that's definitely...
Further into the backcountry, Lomar came across a large rock formation with a wide gap at its base. Something inside appeared to be shifting around. By this point, they were roughly an hour and a half deep into the mountains, with no real sense of which direction they'd come from. Later that evening, while sitting beside the campfire with Chelsea, a face seemed to emerge from within the flames.
Her for a little stroll, and then I see this big rock with an opening in it, and I hear something moving in it, and I'm like, no way. There's literally no way. I have no idea where the hell we are. We're kind of near, like we went from, I don't even know.
It looked like a man, a narrow face, a pointed chin, a small mustache, glasses, and what appeared to be a fisherman-style hat. Not long after, loud banging sounds began echoing out from the tree line.
Yeah, so they'll they'll show faces and you'll be able to see spirits in the fire.
You said you saw a face already.
Yeah, like I was sitting here just like staring. The flame was huge. It was really tall. And then all of a sudden, like I'm like focusing and I was able to start to see the silhouette of a man's face. Like he had like a pointy chin. He had a little mustache, little glasses on.
Really?
And like a fisherman style hat on.
Jeez. I wonder if that's like someone that used to live in the woods back in... Oh. Yeah. Okay, one sec. I'm gonna turn the tripod this way. Yeah, that's like...
Hello?
Chelsea started experiencing sharp pains in her chest, then something large crashed through the undergrowth and came charging toward them. Shortly after, a thick fog crept in, and the trail they had used to enter the area had completely vanished.
Oh man. Just be careful, don't go too far ahead of me.
Look, it kind of opens up though.
Okay, when we get to the open spot, I'm gonna give you the camera because I'm gonna get the bear spray ready.
Look. Yo, look right here.
Oh shit, what? Look at this. Look what we found over here. Good spot, hon.
Behind you.
Here, let me get the bear spray ready. That's moving. Whoa.
Wait,
They attempted to retrace their steps but kept ending up in unfamiliar spots. The Spirit Talker then produced the phrase, "my throat," right as Lomar noticed his own throat was beginning to ache.
We could be going in the complete different and wrong direction right now. Yeah, we could be going in the complete wrong direction right now.
okay, we're like, there's no way out of this spot.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wait, I remember this. I'm pretty sure this chewed tree right there.
Remember this.
Whoa! What's there? Whoa!
Okay, babe, we gotta get back to open ground.
Yeah, there was just something over there. Do we have to go that way? I literally
I don't remember this.
Remains.
Jesus.
I don't remember this, but
The fog only got denser. Every direction looked exactly the same. Then they spotted a half-stripped tree, one they both recognized from earlier in the hike. They used it as a reference point and managed to navigate back to their van, arriving just as a storm began rolling in.
Okay. I think we should call it.
still trying to figure our way back. Okay, so we just keep heading up straight. Now
Straight
we're
to the
trying
car.
get out of the ass of the forest.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Holy crap.
We just have to look for that half-eaten tree.
But what if we were going the complete opposite way? That was complete.
Some of what unfolded that night, the abandoned shelter, the cave, the figure in the fire, the strange noises, might have a rational explanation. But the fog appearing when it did, the chest pains, and the spirit talker's eerily timed responses are a lot harder to write off. So what do you think was lurking inside that rock formation? In March of 2020, YouTuber CJ Faison and his closest friend Sunny Deeds ventured into Maryland's Pocahontas Forest, a location shrouded in the legend of the Hookman, a prison escapee who disappeared into those woods and was never recaptured. People in the area claim to still spot him lurking along the roadside. Others describe hearing screams after dark or catching glimpses of figures that dissolve the moment you focus on them. They hadn't even begun setting up their camp before a strange guttural grunt rolled out from the blackness, something that bore no resemblance to any known animal.
You picked the thickest area of the woods to go through.
You told me to go straight. You could have left.
I'm taking the lead. Golly dang.
You know me. I'm trying to find briars to get hung up in.
My goodness. Damn. Oh, that mug right there would hurt. I don't get how they're so pointy. The f was that?
They packed up and moved further into the woods. Then CJ stopped dead in his tracks. There was a silhouette standing perfectly still among the trees ahead.
Oh boy. Hey, don't walk under that. It's got a lot of spiders on it. Oh, oh, oh!
Did you see that? No. I was looking over here at spiders.
Let me turn my light on brighter. Dude. You not. Alright, that was weird as hell. Dude, I swore there was someone standing right there. Literally right there. I swear. Clearly we would hear him or would have seen him, dude.
He shouted out, but got nothing back. When he swept his light toward it, the figure was gone, but that was only the start of it. Then a whistle rang out directly behind them.
Somebody just whistled. Let's go in further. That was weird. You heard that? That's strange, man.
Is that you?
No. Hello? That was right behind us, though. All right, let's just keep walking.
Minutes later, something struck CJ across the face hard enough to hit his camera.
Oh! Ow! Ow! Oh! 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 What the was that? I don't know. Holy! There's no way that was you.
What?
Do I have a red mark right through there? Holy.
Not really, no.
I don't even know what just happened, but something just hit me, like across the face, and then hit my camera. No joke. I know it couldn't have been you. You're way too far away. It was right when I stepped in that spot right up ahead of us.
Sure wasn't a branch?
I'm positive there's no branch over here. It came from the right. And I heard it like, and then hit me. I swear, Sonny, I swear right now, dude, it came from the right side. There's no branches or anything like that. It hit me and hit my camera. Bro, no joke. I mean, I am... And it didn't fall from above. That's the thing that gets me. I thought it was the rustling of the leaves, like... But I'm telling you right now, dude, something that was like... And then hit me in the face, hit the camera.
And you sure it wasn't, the noise wasn't me coming up behind? Because I was stuck in...
Nah, dude, this thing...
It hadn't dropped from the treetops. It came from the side, from a spot where no branches were hanging overhead. That's the moment they noticed the lights. 2 of them drifting between the trees.
Yo, that's a light. Dude, I don't want to go oh, here it is. I really don't want to go through this again. I literally sat in the woods here for like almost 2 hours without lights. Because there's some psychopath in the woods at way past midnight. I feel a little bit better because I'm not alone, but you can see. Yeah, that one. Yeah. That was me. The fart was me. I'm getting nervous. He's moving. He's moving. Are they walking towards us? Are they walking towards us or no? Oh, 2 lights. There's 2 lights.
They killed their flashlights and held their breath. The lights slowed, then died completely. For a full 40 minutes, they sat swallowed by darkness. Then something cut right through the quiet, the voice of a young boy well past midnight.
Breaks right now. What?
If you take off running, I cannot see just as a red light on.
Well, you're gonna have to turn your light on.
Turn your flashlight. Get your flashlight on. Flashlight.
What was that for real?
I don't know. It's a voice. It's something.
That sounded like a little boy in the woods. Hey. All of a sudden, don't.
No child had any business being out there, but something was. They separated. That's when CJ noticed that every footstep he took was being mirrored by another, pausing exactly when he paused.
And every time I take a step, I feel like there's footsteps behind me. So I was kind of just chilling for just a few seconds there. And I don't really know what to say other than, okay, there's something walking there. There's just, like a presence or something like that that's around. And I don't want to freak myself out being in these woods. It's like the #1 thing that you cannot do. But just the fact that there's just such silence in woods, that's what like gets me, so I don't know.
He assumed it was Sunny, but Sunny was hundreds of feet away. Then came a thunderous crack and a crushing force around CJ's chest, like unseen hands closing in around him.
I don't know what the that was, but I ain't looking to find the out. Ow! What the hell happened? Ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
What happened?
Dude, something. I swear there's like, I don't know if like something has followed us from the honeycut farm, spiritual, I don't know, but.
Dude, I don't know. I did a spirit box just for the hell of it, and I heard the only response I could understand, I heard flashlight.
No way.
Yes, I mean, yes, you have to go back and look at the footage, but I'm almost positive that that's what the hell it said was flashlight. But I'm getting, dude, the pain in my back that I had at Penhurst.
For real?
Yes, I don't know what the hell. It's almost like something is squeezing me.
No signal, no clear way out. And then something out there made the choice for them.
Oh, gosh. Dude, oh! Go, Sonny, run!
What was behind those moving lights? What sent that object flying in from nowhere? What produces the voice of a child in a place no child could last the night? And what was shadowing their every step? Always just out of reach, never quite visible enough to face. Franco TV is a channel built around visiting some of the most haunted and outright dangerous places on the planet. And Franco doesn't just show up with a crew during daylight hours. He goes alone, after dark, into the exact spots that even on-site security guards won't set foot in. Tonight, he's heading back to Cementerio de los Pretos in Mexico, a location that's already been responsible for some of the most terrifying moments in his career. But something entirely different is waiting for him this time.
Currently, I've been getting calls from one of the security officers here that were letting me know, hey, just in case if you're interested, just letting you know, there's been sightings of someone walking through here with, apparently they think it's a woman or a man. I'm here now and I just heard like footsteps. It sounds like somebody running through here. But anyway, they've been getting some weird sightings here and I wanted to see if I could explore this.
What makes this place so uniquely unsettling isn't only the paranormal activity, it's also the very real human threat. The cemetery sits right on the edge of the Barrios, a neighborhood with a well-known reputation for theft and violent crime. Franco is essentially caught in the middle, with danger pressing in from both the living and whatever else occupies this place. As he works his way through the underground crypts, he stumbles onto something that immediately sets a dark tone for the rest of the night.
Just looks like they set it on fire. And I can still see the guy's spinal cord right there. But nothing else. They still have black bags thrown on the inside for witchcraft. You see it? All that's not supposed to be here. That one looks a little opened. The hell is that? Turn off my light for a second. I just heard something weird. For a split second, I heard something dragging or something like whoo, 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 just now as I was inside of here. And it got quiet. I'm just nervous because I don't know what I'm going to run into today. Every time I come to this graveyard, something happens, whether if it's paranormal or if it's a person going through here or a bandit. It's just this place is actually extremely dangerous. This isn't like a property I could rent out. This is like...
Roughly an hour into the investigation, Franco picks up on a sound that stops him cold. It starts out like moaning, then gradually sharpens into something unmistakable. Someone crying. Not just quietly weeping, but full-on screaming. Rather than turning around and leaving, he does exactly what you'd expect from a committed paranormal investigator. He moves toward it, and that's when things took a turn.
A lot closer to where I'm hearing the screams. It's actually further up here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my night vision camera and see for myself. Hear it? I'm going to switch over to night vision. It literally sounds like they're screaming. Oh, it's over here. Look, I just switched over to my other camera. See if I can focus in a little bit better. She's pretty far back there.
Now, I already know what a lot of you are thinking. It's probably just a person, maybe somebody grieving at a loved one's grave, but what unfolds after this moment is going to make you rethink that pretty quickly.
See something? ¿Está bien? What the f? Holy sh! It just took off. ¿Está bien? What the f? That's the tomb right there. That's where it was at. Hola? Yo quiero hablar contigo. ¿Está bien? I have never seen something like that before. I wonder if it was laughing that I was hearing or was it crying, because what I heard this time was definitely crying. I feel like somebody's going to be watching me from the ceiling. It just took right off.
When Franco goes back to examine the area, he finds physical evidence left behind from the encounter. A wet residue coating the wall where the entity appeared to have scaled it, along with cookies that had been placed there as ritual offerings. Whatever it was had literally dragged itself up that wall, leaving a damp trail in its wake. But the night still had plenty left in store. As Franco pushes further into the cemetery, he begins receiving direct responses to his questions. Not just spikes on an EMF reader, but actual audible voice replies.
Gloria! Georgina! ¿Está bien? I just got a response. It sounds like it's saying sí. ¿Estás solita? Oh my God. I was literally getting...
Those responses keep coming as the investigation goes on, each one more unsettling than the one before it. It feels less like random noise and more like something deliberately engaging with him, pulling him further into the depths of the cemetery. And yeah, collecting EVP responses in a graveyard at midnight while chasing reports of witch sightings is not exactly how most people spend a weeknight. Franco eventually reaches the tomb of Gregorio Camacho, a well-known witch with a reputation for performing both benevolent and harmful work on behalf of those who sought her out. After nearly 2 hours inside the cemetery, he finally decides it's time to go.
Me voy a ir. Adiós. ¿Te puedes decir bye? Dile bye. I think it's saying bye. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys, but I am getting a bunch of spikes on.
So here's the real question. Did Franco genuinely come face to face with the spirit of a notorious witch? Or is there a more rational explanation rooted in grief, coincidence, and the environment working against him? The evidence he captured is hard to dismiss. But as always, I'm going to leave that call entirely up to you. Meet Adam, the face behind the widely followed YouTube channel Adam Brown Adventures. A passionate scuba diver, Adam puts his skills to work pulling vehicles out of polluted waterways, and perhaps more meaningfully, helping families across the country locate missing loved ones, all at absolutely no cost to them. But his channel covers far more than search and rescue. From river treasure hunting and metal detecting to abandoned location exploration and open water diving, Adam documents a whole range of outdoor pursuits, all driven by one core mission: to motivate people to step outside and carve out adventures of their own. In this particular video, Adam brings us to Sumter, South Carolina, where he embarks on a deeply personal and emotional operation. He had set up camp in the area with a single purpose: to help find a man named Tommy Braley, who had vanished without explanation 7 years earlier. Tommy disappeared without leaving a single clue after clocking out of work. One evening, and from that day forward, his family has been living in agonizing limbo. So on December 30th, 2024, Adam and fellow searcher Jason came back to the case with renewed resolve, determined to finally deliver the answers Tommy's family had been waiting years to hear.
Continuing the search for missing person Tommy Lee Braley. He went missing back in 2017 with his vehicle, a silver BMW.
It's been 1 year since 52-year-old Tommy Braley was last seen by his family and friends in Sumter. Braley left Brewer's Bar on East Westmark in the early hours last August and hasn't been heard from since.
And we've been doing searching for the past years for Tommy, because he just basically vanished after leaving a Brewer's Bar and Grill in downtown Sumter, which has since closed by now. They had a lot of issues there, apparently fighting, and I've heard a lot of rumors about this bar. But he was out with his coworkers, having a good time. He left at like 2 a.m., vanished. He only had like a 15-minute drive back to his house, but neither him or his car has been seen since. So me and Jason, we've been checking so many places over the past few years for Tommy. Just all the signs to us point you know, when a car goes missing, you're in the woods or the water somewhere. There's a lot of woods, but by this time, usually hunters or somebody would have seen him if it was obvious. There's not a ton of water. There's a lot of little spots, and we're just, you know, continuing to search. And you've been out here the past few days looking, right?
Yeah, I was here Saturday. It looks like there could be a car. I mean, it's a car-shaped object out towards this way. I mean, I don't know if they came around that curve here.
Yeah.
And like shot off right there, but I've seen no signs of car.
Jason had run sonar scans across a specific stretch of water, and what appeared on the screen stopped them both in their tracks, an outline that bore a striking resemblance to a sunken vehicle. Excitement rose quickly, but so did doubt. They had combed through this very area multiple times over the years, and come up empty every single time. Even so, what the sonar was showing them was impossible to brush aside. With measured but genuine hope, Adam and Jason geared up to investigate further, clinging to the chance that this time, the truth might finally be within reach.
That one looks silver. That looks pretty new though. GM. We're gonna see if we can't stick to something. Bet you would pull up some car parts though. Probably. Oh. Hey, I'm on something over here. And honestly, kind of felt like a car to me. You need to scan this, dude. That.
Every detail of what they were seeing pointed towards something significant resting on the bottom. The dimensions, the overall shape, it all lined up with the profile of a submerged car. Adam wasted no more time deliberating and sent his underwater drone beneath the surface to get a clearer picture. If this was truly what they had spent years looking for, they were moments away from confronting the answer to a mystery that had haunted a family for far too long.
I'm gonna send her down and see what this object is. Let's go down.
So,
is it a four-door?
That was like a four-door. Yeah, his car is a four-door though, wasn't it? The window's down, right? That was like a driver's side window.
I mean, for this to get here though,
he had been moving. That looks like a BMW grill front end.
This has got to be him. This has got to be him.
Can you go around more to the front?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I mean, of course it's missing the thing.
Yeah, it should have another one identical to it on the other side. Turn now. Yeah, too far, too close. That's a BMW. That's 100% a BMW.
I think we found him, man.
You're not gonna be able to tell anything. I'm
gonna try to.
There's usually a logo right there at the top, where the two grill pieces come together.
That's it. That's this BMW.
We found Tommy. I bet.
It's gotta be Tommy.
That's gotta be Tommy.
Dude. I knew when that magnet stuck, which is a weird thing to say, because we didn't even run sonar or anything. But you kind of get to know the stick of a car, you know, the feel. And bear with me, because I'm. Oh, and that line's right. Oh, that line's going right over it. I'm gonna try to pull it out. But, we have confirmation that he is in the vehicle, where there is human remains in the vehicle. Obviously, we won't know that until the coroners check it out. But
the moment it became undeniably clear that they had found Tommy, a profound sense of relief swept over them both. Human remains were recovered from inside the vehicle, which had come to rest along the very route Tommy had traveled on the night he went missing. The car itself matched the silver BMW he was last seen in. Adam descended into the cold, murky depths to pull the license plate, needing confirmation that couldn't be disputed. When law enforcement arrived, every piece of the puzzle fell into place. The following morning, the car was lifted from the water, and shortly afterward, the remains were officially confirmed to be those of Tommy Braley. After 7 grueling years of silence, grief, and unanswered prayers, Adam and Jason were able to give Tommy's family and his community something they had almost given up on: closure. But Adam didn't consider the job finished. He's still out there, suiting up, diving down, and giving grieving families a reason to hold on. Because sometimes the most profound adventure has nothing to do with where you end up. It's measured entirely by the lives you touch along the way. On May 21st, 2025, a video was posted to the channel Eleanor Grace Adventures, run by solo traveler and content creator Eleanor Grace, who regularly documents her peaceful journeys through the quieter corners of the UK. Eleanor has a gift for finding wonder in isolated places, but in this particular upload, what begins as a tranquil wild swim at a secluded Dartmoor quarry gradually unravels into something deeply unsettling. She opens the video by laying out her intentions.
Everyone, you're joining me on the way. Well, we already are on Dartmoor, but we're heading somewhere that I've never been to before, but I really wanted to check out this evening. I was really looking forward to a sunny evening with a potential sunset, and it's just gone incredibly grey. Perfect timing.
And that is how this happened.
We're off. Got my coffee. Where's my mic? Hang on. Okay. Shall I hold this? Shall I put this there? Who knows? Let's put it there. Beautiful grey evening in the middle of Dartmoor. I wanted to do an evening hike, and I was looking on my THRLL app for somewhere really nice on Dartmoor. I also wanted to check out the area I'm in for the possibility of doing a wild camp on a tour somewhere, because I've never actually done one like properly before in the actual wild. And Dartmoor, yeah, Dartmoor would be very interesting to say the least. Whilst I was checking out my THRLL app, I came across this place. And it's an old mining quarry, which is literally, now I'm not too sure if it's this one or there. Beautiful hike with old buildings and stuff like that. Getting a bit boggy, but worth it. She could have just avoided it, but no, she goes right through it. People have said that it's a very unusual and cool looking place to go for a wild swim. You know me, right? If there's a very weird or cool or beautiful place for me to take a dip, I'm gonna do it. I've brought the stuff with me in my backpack to do that. It is meant to start raining at some point this evening, so to be honest, if it does, even better. Oh, this is a very cute little stream. This is lovely.
A straightforward evening hike through Dartmoor National Park, driven by the hope of tracking down an abandoned quarry she'd spotted on her THRLL app. She'd been thinking about wild camping in the region, so this outing would double as a reconnaissance trip and a chance to take a dip in what fellow explorers online had described as a strange yet stunning swimming spot. The sky is dull and overcast, the atmosphere hushed, with nothing but sheep and rugged moorland stretching out around her.
I don't want to get close to them because I don't want to scare them. She's got a little one with her. And you're just peering at me from behind that bush. Hello. This place is very Tomb Raider. I think that's why I like it. Yeah, I know you do too. It's all right. I don't want to get kicked in the face by a sheep. Oh. It's all right. It's okay. Hello. Yeah, this definitely looks quarry-like, doesn't it? I think we might be now.
After pushing through waterlogged bogs and sodden trails, she finally comes upon the quarry.
Oh, you have... You have got to be kidding me. What a hidden gem. Oh, bless him. Right, I'm just going to stand still and let him run. It's quite eerie, actually. Yeah, I don't... Hello? 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 Yeah, I don't think that there is anyone else here. Apart from the sheep.
Look.
I really do want to get in there.
I'm gonna go for it.
It's worth it. Forget something starts sucking on my leg. As gross as that sounds.
How cold are we talking? It's not too bad.
Gonna get over there. It's a little bit cold. It's not too bad though. There are a lot of tadpoles and everything around me and like little lizardy type things. I haven't seen any leeches yet. We're being joined by sheep. I'm gonna have to move my bags just in case they try.
Her first impression is one of awe. The glassy water, enclosed by sharp rock faces and tangled vegetation, looks like it was pulled straight from a Tomb Raider level. Despite the eerie quiet, she decides to take the plunge. She changes behind a cluster of rocks and carefully edges into the frigid water, but it isn't long before an uneasy feeling starts to creep in.
Oh God, the rocks are quite high and jagged. It's not overly deep. So you've got to be careful where you're putting your legs really, or kicking your legs to swim. Oh, this is so nice though.
Loads and loads of like planes and military helicopters and stuff above me. There's a really, really weird noise coming from up there. I don't know if someone's wild camping and pumping up something, because that's what I can hear. It sounds like that. Either that or it's extremely loud, heavy panting. God, I hope it's someone wild camping.
Anyway, Dartmoor is like a military training base. They do a lot of training around here basically, so I had to check the times for when they were doing that. There's various areas on Dartmoor where you can wild camp, and this falls under one of the legal areas you can do it.
Yeah, it was coming from up there.
It is pretty eerie when you're on your own.
Oh my God. Oh God.
While out in the water, she picks up on strange noises drifting down from the ridge above. Rhythmic, mechanical, like something being repeatedly pumped or hauled. She can't pinpoint where it's coming from, and initially chalks it up to a fellow wild camper setting up camp nearby. But the sound persists. It comes and goes without any clear pattern, always at a distance, yet just audible enough to register. It resembles labored breathing, or perhaps some kind of machinery. Either way, it has no business echoing through somewhere this remote. She pushes past the discomfort and keeps going. Lizards scatter through the undergrowth nearby. There's no visible trace of another person, and somehow that makes the whole scene feel even more oppressive. She laughs it off on camera, making a quip about being watched from the tree line, the classic YouTube bit, until she realizes, as she's pulling her clothes back on behind a rock, that the noise is still there. And it's gotten closer. As the light begins to fade, finding the way out becomes a real struggle. The boggy ground that guided her in now feels like it's actively working against her. Thick mud swallows her legs up to the thighs, dense reeds hide the stream she crossed on the way there, and she starts doubting every footstep. The rocks are slippery, her boots are drenched, and for a few genuine minutes she's lost, trying to piece together a route she hadn't bothered to memorize on the way in. She eventually makes it back to her car, parked along a wooded road near the boundary of Dartmoor. The footage then jumps to later that same night. She's sitting in her dad's driveway, and even with the comfort of home around her, she can't shake what she felt back at that quarry. The following morning, she reflects with real candor. The place wasn't simply creepy, it was suffocating. She describes a persistent sense of being observed the entire time, as though something unseen was following her movements from behind crumbling walls, between the rocks, or just beneath the surface of the water. At one point, she draws a comparison to another location she swore she'd never revisit, a place called Kennelvale, which carries its own grim history of mining fatalities and what she calls dark energy. Both Kennelvale and this hidden Dartmoor quarry were former mining sites, Both now sit silent and decaying, and both, she says, produce the exact same feeling inside her: dread. Not the theatrical kind you get at a staged ghost tour, but something heavier, a suffocating sense of being surrounded by unseen eyes, even when you're completely alone. Thankfully, she trusted that instinct and got herself out of there, because in moments like that, your gut is usually telling you something worth listening to. So what do you think was going on out there? It was August 10th, 2020, when a YouTuber by the name of Ethan Price headed out with his father to a secluded stretch of Illinois wilderness for a relaxed day of creek fishing. The plan was simple: hook a few smallmouth bass, maybe reel in a rainbow trout or two, and soak up everything that makes the outdoors worth escaping to. What started as a wholesome father-son outing, however, took a sharp turn into something a lot more unsettling. The two kicked things off by casting lures and wading through the shallows, trading jokes and landing a handful of decent-sized bass along the way.
Channel, everybody. Today, me and my dad are wading this creek, and we're out in Illinois today, hopefully going after some smallmouth. There's even a few rainbows in here, so starting with all kinds of lures, literally anything. He's got a rooster tail on. I'm gonna try some of everything just to see what'll bite.
Yeah, there's not a lot of big ones in here, but I have heard that there can be. But typically the size, I think, is about 12 inches.
Any time of year?
As long as the water's down. But I don't think you want it too down either. All right.
With canyon walls rising up on either side and not another soul around, it felt like the ideal spot to leave the noise of everyday life behind. As the hours passed, they pushed further upstream and deeper into the canyon. The scenery grew more breathtaking the further in they went, but somewhere along the way, the mood shifted. Around midday, something started to feel wrong.
Best catch of the day. Catch that fish.
Where's your gun range?
That scared the crap out of me. Well, that's the first. I guess. Well, good luck. There's no service. That's probably why.
The two men began picking up the sound of loud gunshots echoing through the area. They were erratic, jarring, and close enough to put both of them on edge. At first they brushed it off, figuring there must be a shooting range somewhere nearby, but as the shots continued and seemed to be drawing closer, their unease started to grow. That unease turned into something sharper when a man came barreling down the trail toward them in a side-by-side utility vehicle, most likely a Polaris. By Ethan's account, the guy was worked up and looking for a confrontation. He came at them yelling, insisting they were trespassing and threatening to get the police involved. The thing is, they were standing in a river, a public waterway. Since when can someone lay claim to a river? Still, the man wasn't bluffing about his hostility. He made it abundantly clear they weren't welcome there. Ethan described him as loud, furious, and possibly carrying a weapon. With no cell signal and no visible boundary markers anywhere around them, the smartest move seemed obvious: walk away. They were miles out from their truck, completely isolated, and now tangled up in a standoff with an unpredictable stranger in the middle of nowhere. They hadn't planned on cutting the trip short, but the situation left them with little choice. As they made their way back toward the trailhead, the gunshots kept ringing out in the distance. Whether that was deliberate intimidation or just someone doing target practice is hard to say, but after everything that had already happened, it was more than enough to cast a shadow over the whole day. Further down the trail, they crossed paths with some other hikers, and one of them mentioned spotting a sign that had been nailed to a tree. It wasn't just a standard private property notice, it carried an explicit warning that trespassers would be shot. Whether that kind of threat carries any legal standing is almost beside the point. The message was unmistakable. Get out. Nobody got hurt, and for that they were fortunate, but the raw fear and volatility of the encounter made it genuinely dangerous. The kind of story that cuts through even in a genre already packed with outdoor gone wrong videos. Because the reality is, when you're deep in the backcountry with no phone signal and no backup, running into the wrong person can be every bit as threatening as anything the wilderness itself could throw at you. It's July 26th, 2025, and Chris has just headed out into the forests of Germany for his very first solo overnight camping trip. The goal was straightforward: rig up a tarp shelter, make a meal over an open fire, and spend the night completely on his own out in the woods. What started as a personal challenge to test his grit quickly became a night full of deeply unsettling moments.
So I brought a tarp because it will rain today. I don't know if I have enough space, and I don't know if I have enough time to set up a completely new camp, but we're going to see.
Alright, so that side is easy. You just put it through here.
I don't have internet here, so at least I took like screenshots of all the stuff, like the knots and everything.
I'm really proud of that one though. I have done a trucker's hitch and another hitch, whatever. You hear that? It's really good under tension. Very nice.
So you shouldn't just throw your stuff on the ground, because it will get caught up.
Alright, both sides are secured.
So my biggest fear in this trip just came real, man. There were people there. I mean, I'm just chilling, like in the hammock, and there's people walking their dog. Yeah, gotta say, life in the woods, pretty chill. Alright, let's see if I can actually lie down here, and if I could sleep. Oh yeah, bro, that is almost too comfortable. It's been raining all day, it will rain in the night, but I feel very good about my shelter.
While lying back in his hammock after getting camp sorted, Chris spotted a couple of strangers walking past with their dog. That single moment cracked open the illusion of solitude, making him acutely aware of just how exposed his little setup actually was. Not long after, as he attempted to wind down, the surrounding forest began filling with strange, unexplained sounds. He told himself it was all perfectly normal, just nature doing its thing, but the creeping unease refused to leave him. The slow dawning of how eerie the night ahead could get began to settle over him.
I don't know what I expected, but it's really quiet. You can just sit here. Just do nothing. Nice.
I just wanted to check how obvious it is from further back, and it's pretty fucking obvious. Well, swinging like this is actually kind of relaxing.
Like a fog. As darkness pressed in further, Chris sat with his discomfort and reflected on it honestly. Even at 32 years old, he confessed that the pitch-black forest still got under his skin. Logically, he understood that wild boars were probably the most realistic danger out there, but the dread of whatever lurked just beyond his line of sight felt far more overwhelming than any rational threat.
Yeah, Let's see if I really sleep here the whole night. It's going to be fucking creepy, man. Yeah, it's very creepy. I'll say that. It's fucking creepy here. Yeah, I don't know if you have noticed, but I'm not an outdoors guy, so this is all pretty new to me. Never done this before. Mosquitoes are coming out, but yeah, I got the mosquito net, I guess, for that. Gonna use it if I have to. I'd rather sleep without the net, honestly, because this forest fucking creeps me out. Okay, so this is the final setup from the inside. Well, not final, but I've put this side down too, so it's like an A shape. Just past 8, but it's already getting cold. I got this thing here, and in the car I got the sleeping bag, but I'd rather not go and get the sleeping bag, honestly. So then I gotta find my way to the car and back here. And as I said, not the most outdoors person. I don't know what I expected. Like, there's nothing much to do here. There, those were the noises just then. Oh man, there's like I'm in the middle of Germany, so there's like nothing here that could actually harm me except like wild boars. But weird how that goes. I'm 32 years old and still I'm afraid of like being in the forest.
Then everything shifted in an instant. Chris picked up a distinct smell, unmistakably human, drifting through the trees nearby. It wasn't offensive, but it was absolutely not his own scent, and that realization hit him like a cold wave, sending a deep crawling unease through him as he stood alone in those silent woods.
I am on a quick mission to find my car, because I do need to get this sleeping bag. Well, that's so f***ing cold if I don't, but I need to hurry, because the sun is already gone, so we'll get cool park very quick. Bro, I would have never found this in the dark, and I wanted to cook. But a creepy thing. I just smelled someone. That sounds weird. But you know how some people, it's not like bad smell, like just body odor or like their smell. And it didn't smell like me. Well, it is getting creepy again. And weird.
Later on, as he made his way back from his car carrying some additional supplies, that same sensation came rushing back. He was certain someone was out there, concealed somewhere between the trees, and the lingering smell in the air only reinforced the feeling that he had company he hadn't invited. Despite being rattled, Chris pushed forward. He threw together a basic meal, sealed up the tarp, and willed himself to hold on until daylight. Come morning, he made it safely back to his car, openly admitting he would have been completely lost out there without GPS. The whole experience left him with a stark takeaway. Out in the wilderness, the thing that gets to you most isn't the cold or the creatures, it's the gnawing suspicion that someone else might be sharing the darkness with you. The story comes from the Paranormal Discovery Channel, where a creator named Lomar regularly documents solo camping excursions into remote wilderness, allegedly haunted woodlands, and abandoned locations. On October 23rd, 2025, he headed out alone once again, this time venturing deep into Freetown State Forest, a place long tied to dark legends involving satanic rituals, mysterious disappearances, and phenomena that no one has been able to explain. What started as a straightforward overnight trip in the wild would gradually take a turn towards something far more disturbing.
Back to part 2 of our Bridgewater Triangle series. Right now I'm actually in the Freetown State Forest again, and instead of actually going to the Assonet Ledge, I'm actually going to be going to a completely different area. I am by myself today. It's more of the people and the weirdos and the lunatics in the Bridgewater Triangle than what the hell was that? Yo, something's being like thrown. Anyways, it's more of the people and the lunatics within the Bridgewater Triangle that I've actually encountered, and like even more so than the bears or the Bigfoots or the CO.AGs and the cryptids. Like, the people are actually weird in these forests. I don't know what it is, but Yeah, we're gonna be embarking very, very shortly. Just actually pulled up right now. So yeah, we're gonna take a drive and yeah, get going. Yeah, my point exactly. I don't know what's happening right now, but I'm gonna get going. Okay, let's continue on.
Pulling up to the forest entrance, Lomar spotted two men hanging around near the trailhead. Something about them felt off, though he tried not to let it get to him. Still, one thought kept nagging at him. He really didn't want to cross paths with anyone dangerous out there. On a prior visit to this very forest, he'd run into someone clearly unhinged who ended up chasing him out entirely, turning that whole trip into a terrifying scramble to escape. Shaking off the memory, he drove on toward his planned destination and started hiking in with all his gear on his back. Once he reached the spot he'd scoped out for the night, he got to work pitching his tent, surrounded by the still, shadowy tree line, with no idea what the hours ahead would bring. Without warning,
there we go. At least I got a little bit more leverage. It'll be at least a little bit of protection for me at least. The reason being is I didn't know if it was gonna rain tonight really, and I kind of looked a little off. Checked the weather, seemed to be good, but it kind of rained the first 2 days that I got here, and I'm really not looking forward to having any more rain because I don't want to lose out on videos. So at least if I have this and it's up, if it rains, then we can be underneath it and the video can technically be on still. So yeah, I've never... What? Hello? Okay. Thought I actually heard something like in there. I'm like tripping out right now. Okay. I'm getting hungry though.
the stillness of the forest was broken by a haunting sound drifting through the trees, something resembling a distant, strained cry, almost human in quality, and close enough to send a wave of dread straight through him. He stopped dead, listening as the noise gradually dissolved back into the dark. Shortly after, a series of other strange, unidentifiable sounds began filtering through the woods, and the atmosphere around him grew increasingly unsettling. Chalking it up to animals, he pushed forward and carried on preparing his campsite, setting up a small table for dinner and placing his spirit talker nearby. But then the situation began to escalate.
Oh, man.
Run now.
This was getting sketch. I'm eating noodles.
I am Desdemona.
Hi, Desdemona.
I do not understand.
I was gonna say, I'm eating noodles in the Bridgewater Triangle right now. I feel very vulnerable. Like very, very vulnerable right now. All right.
The noise was him.
The noise was him? Okay. I'm getting a little confused here.
Thank you for listening. I'll throw something.
Guys, what the f*** is that? Whoa, 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 whoa. What the fuck? What the fuck? Guys, someone's down that path. Is someone getting murdered right now? Oh my god, I think someone's actually getting murdered. What the fuck? I'm like genuinely curious right now. I hope someone's not actually getting murdered. That sounded like someone in help.
The crying sound came back, short but deeply unsettling, followed almost immediately by a series of heavy, forceful knocks, like something slamming against wood with tremendous power. It didn't match anything Lomar had heard from wildlife before. He was still trying to figure out where the knocking was coming from when a deep, anguished groan rose out of the darkness. A male voice, raw and tortured, resonating in a way that made his skin crawl. For a brief moment, he wondered if someone out there actually needed help. But just as quickly as it started, everything went silent. He stood frozen, pulse hammering, trying to make sense of what or who could possibly be lurking out there in the dead of night. Then the earlier output from his spirit talker came back to him. It had spoken a name, Desdemona, meaning ill-fated death, along with a single urgent phrase, "Run now." It suddenly clicked. Whatever unseen presence was out there, it seemed aware of the threat, and it may well have been trying to warn him. Shaken but holding himself together, Lomar pressed on with his camp.
The thing is, like, I don't even know if that's like a cryptid or if that was actually a person in need of help. Like, I don't want to rush down there right now just in case that's like a trap. But I will go and check that out. Like, if someone needs help, then I'm gonna go down there. I'm just gonna wait a second though. Okay, there's hooting and whooping. I'm like so curious now, like what if there's someone in need of help? If they're just like luring me in? It's like almost scared. I swear to who's down there? I just saw someone. Oh shit. Okay, that's a real fucking person. Who's there? I'm armed. I'm carrying. Who are you? I'm armed and I'm not playing around. If you attack me, I'm gonna attack you back in self-defense. I'm carrying. No fucking way. What is going on?
He had no idea who or what was sharing the forest with him, and fear was coursing through him with every passing second, his heartbeat growing harder to ignore. Then the sounds came back, a combination of moaning and whooping that filled the darkness around him. Whooping noises are frequently linked to cryptid sightings, though Lomar couldn't say for certain what he was dealing with. Thinking there might be an injured person out there, he cautiously moved in the direction of the disturbance. That's when it happened, a dark shape drifting between the trees ahead of him. The camera didn't catch it, but Lomar was convinced he'd seen a figure. The moment he stepped any closer, something struck a nearby tree with a heavy thud, sending it shaking. His nerves spiked hard, every instinct telling him that something was watching his every move.
Now I'm tripping, like what if that wasn't a person? But that was definitely something. Whoa! 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 Oh! Yeah. Fuck. Oh. Who's there? Fuck, I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting. I'm not fucking waiting. I'm not waiting. I'm like nervous. I'm really nervous right now. Hello? Oh. Shit. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna pack up. That's it. Something's here.
While scanning the area where he'd felt that presence, sudden, agonizing screams tore through the night from the same direction. Unmistakably human voices, predominantly male, howling just beyond the edge of his flashlight beam. Panic overtook him, and he sprinted back to his campsite, deciding it was time to abandon the forest and get back to his van. But the voices didn't stop. They continued echoing right outside his tent. That was all he needed to make up his mind. Lomar packed everything up and got out, leaving the forest without looking back. He never found out what had been out there, but by trusting his gut, he made it out in one piece. While whatever lurked in those woods remained behind, its nature still unknown. Whatever it was, it hadn't simply been watching, it had been hunting. Every sound, every movement felt calculated, as though something was deliberately trying to coax him deeper into the trees, drawing him toward a trap. Those screams weren't random noise, they were raw, agonizing, and purposeful, crafted not just to frighten, but to lure and ensnare. This forest carries a heavy history, soaked in tales of hauntings and malevolent forces. One unsettling theory is that Lomar may have been targeted by a mimic, a creature with the ability to replicate human voices, sometimes even the sounds of its own victims, to draw a new prey. Its goal wasn't to play games, it was predatory. Had he not listened to his instincts, he might not have made it back. The shadowy figure, the relentless sounds, and the spirit talker's warning were likely no coincidence. Perhaps the spirits of those who perished in that forest were reaching out to protect him. After all, Desdemona translates to ill-fated death. That message may not have been a random hit. It could have been the voice of someone who met a violent, tragic end in those very woods, desperately trying to spare him from the same fate. And then there's another deeply troubling possibility, that someone was actually being harmed nearby, and those screams were entirely real, the final sounds of a life being destroyed in the dark. In isolated forests like this, violent crimes can unfold in complete silence, leaving no witnesses and no answers. Alone, without any means of protection, Lomar could easily have walked into something he'd never have walked away from. Either explanation is harrowing. Whether an otherworldly entity was trying to pull him into a trap, or something horrifically human was unfolding just beyond his line of sight, both lead to the same grim conclusion. Something truly terrible was taking place in those woods that night. A couple of friends out on a hiking trail had just made it to the waterfall when one of them pulled out her phone and captured this moment.
Take your breath away? Took your breath away, right? Did it take your breath away? Take your breath away?
Out of nowhere, her ponytail swung forward as though something had shoved it from the back. There was no audible gust, nothing else around her shifted even slightly, and it gave the distinct impression that some unseen presence had moved right past her. She didn't even flinch, just kept on walking like absolutely nothing had occurred. Could be a pocket of air pressure doing something strange, or it could be something that doesn't have a rational explanation at all. Grizzly Gaz runs a YouTube camping channel where the host, also named Gaz, documents his hiking and outdoor adventures across the UK, alongside his French bulldog Fendi. His videos frequently feature him pushing through harsh conditions and capturing unexpected run-ins with the unknown out in the wilderness. On May 4th, 2025, Gaz headed out once again with Fendi for another trip into the wild. This time he had something specific he was after.
Reading about a druid's altar that's buried in the woods of this reservoir. Now, I don't know where it is, but we're gonna find it. But this particular reservoir is very popular with dog walkers, so I'm gonna have to hang fire a little bit until
His mission was to track down a mysterious druid's altar that was supposedly concealed somewhere in the woodlands surrounding a local reservoir. The water level had dropped significantly thanks to a recent dry spell, revealing stretches of shoreline that would normally sit beneath the surface. While killing time waiting for other dog walkers to leave so he could pitch his tent, Gaz noticed what looked like a deserted campsite hidden back among the trees. He filed it away in his mind to check out later. Once the area had emptied out, Gaz locked in a solid spot and got his camp set up. The two then went for a wander, coming across a stunning waterfall tumbling down over the rocks nearby. Back at camp, as the light began to fade, Gaz fired up his portable stove to make coffee, testing out a new set of magnetic legs for his gas canister that kept everything steady on the rough terrain. With Fendi lounging close by, Gaz soaked in the calm of the woodland around him. Then, without warning,
Protein for you. Mate, go get your tent. Go on. Go get your tent. Go chill out for a bit. I'll have this and then we'll go for a walk. So impatient, isn't she? What was that? Did you hear that? Definitely sounded like a tree falling down from over there somewhere. Kept hearing stuff up behind me. And then, big crash right over there back up.
that calm was gone. A massive crashing sound erupted from somewhere deep in the trees. Gaz's first thought was a falling tree, but the noise had a quality to it that felt intentional, too deliberate to dismiss. Even so, his desire to find both the abandoned campsite and the rumored altar pushed him forward. Heading deeper into the woods with Fendi by his side, Gaz found his unease beginning to grow.
Tree that collapsed earlier, or that branch that snapped. Nope. Mr. Owl's out. That's up near where I saw that camp. So this might be a wrong move. Pigeons. Don't know if this is a good idea now. Come on, we need to go have a look, don't we? I can hear rustling over here, but I don't know if it's just my imagination playing tricks on me. Oh, this is a bit dodgy, isn't it?
The forest had gone strangely silent, with only the occasional owl call cutting through the stillness. He started picking up rustling sounds that could have been nothing, but every instinct he had was telling him otherwise.
Oh, look at this. Well, this isn't what I saw, but looks like someone's been making a fort here.
Before long, they came across what appeared to be a crude fort that someone had cobbled together between the trees. Just a short distance away was the very campsite Gaz had clocked earlier in the day.
Here's look, the tent. Hello? Hello? Fendi, come here. Fucking pigeon. Oh, I don't know. Oh, there you go. That answers it, doesn't it? Fendi. Shit me pants then, mate. Oh look, bong there and cream of tomato soup. Mandarin pieces.
Hello? Hello? Rubbish was strewn all over the place. Food wrappers, empty soup tins, and drug paraphernalia that suggested whoever had been camping there was far from your average outdoor enthusiast. As they pushed on, Gaz began picking up odd splashing sounds drifting over from the direction of the water. More alarming was his headlamp, which suddenly started cutting out with no explanation. In the dimming glow, something caught the light and reflected back at him from the dark.
That's all we need. Definitely just saw eye shine over there. Oh, fucking head torch.
Then, at the foot of the slope, Gaz stumbled onto the find that unsettled him most of all.
We found it. It's a shame my head torch ain't working. There we go, look. What's that on top of it? What is that? Oh, do we dare even come in here? Holy Bible. That says the end there. Is it upside down? Why would it be upside down? It's Genesis, the first passage of the Bible. I don't know. It's got some scribbling on there. Can't make out what it says. Mary Ann something or other. Eastwood, Todmorden, 1995. That's creepy, isn't it? Upside down Bible. Oh, I don't like that. Alright, let's see what we can see here.
The so-called Druid's altar. Rather than anything ancient, it had been thrown together from concrete blocks that looked like they'd been pulled from a nearby bridge. What really got under his skin was an upside-down Bible sitting open on top of it. Its pages filled with strange scrawlings, names, dates, and among them the phrase, Eastwood Taunton 1995. An inverted Bible sitting atop what was meant to be a pagan altar made no logical sense. Was someone messing around? Was there something darker going on here? Or was it just a random pile of oddities left behind by someone passing through? With his headlamp still flickering and Fendi pressed close against him, Gaz decided he'd pushed his luck far enough. Whatever that strange shrine was meant to represent, it left him with a feeling he couldn't shake. The two made their way back to camp, and Gaz walked away with far more questions than he'd arrived with. Disturbing. Our first video of the night comes from Love Sundays, a YouTube channel dedicated to van life adventures and outdoor exploration. Their content covers everything from van camping and snorkeling to surfing and uncovering hidden gems along the coast of Cornwall, England. This particular incident took place on September 11th, 2022. And what you're about to hear will make your skin crawl. The vlogger walks us through a genuinely terrifying night spent sleeping in his van somewhere in Cornwall. We join Sean already on his Cornwall trip, scouting for somewhere to park up and spend the night. He eventually stumbles across a decent spot and notices another van already sitting there, which gives him enough confidence that the location is safe and reasonable for an overnight stay.
Parking for cars midnight to 9 AM, 1st of May to the 30th of September. This isn't a camper van, but it is a van. If I'm going to stay here, I'm going to have to be really, really quiet about it. There's another white van, exactly the same as this one, just parked further down the road. And if that can stay here tonight, then I'm pretty sure that I can, but I need to not make it obvious that I'm going to be staying in the van. So I'm going to pull the blinds across now.
As darkness rolls in, Sean shows his audience just how pitch black and deserted the area has become. With nobody else seemingly around, he figures the night should pass without any trouble.
If you can see any form of light peeking out through the curtains. Okay, so I'm outside. It's pretty dark, as you can see. Really dark, actually. I'm just going to turn the lights on. Let's just see what we can see. So, if you ask me, that looks pretty dark. Okay, I need to get back in the van before people notice.
He locks up the van and gets himself settled in, feeling comfortable and secure as he winds down for sleep. What happens next, though, is far from the peaceful rest he was expecting.
When I'm in the van. 1, lock the doors. 2, keep my keys ready just in case I need to get up in the night and just go. So they're going to be left just over here. Make sure I've got some sweets for watching a movie. And then just get into bed, get cozy, turn the lights off.
At roughly 2 in the morning, Sean is jolted awake by a sharp knock against the side of his van. Within moments, things take a frightening turn as whoever is outside begins violently yanking at the door handles, trying to force their way in. Paralyzed with fear, Sean goes completely still, pressing his hand over his mouth to keep his breathing as quiet as possible, desperately hoping the person outside will just move on.
I just heard something outside. Okay, I think they've gone. They literally tried to get in the van. It wasn't just a knocking, they were trying the handle.
After what must have felt like forever, Sean musters enough nerve to peek outside. Seeing nobody there, he retreats back into the van and tries to make sense of what just happened. He goes back and forth on whether it was someone simply telling him to shift along, or whether it was something far more threatening. He describes his heart hammering in his chest throughout the whole ordeal, and just how deeply shaken he was by the experience. Thankfully, Sean walked away physically unscathed, but that night in Cornwall is clearly burned into his memory for good.
My heart was pounding then. I mean, they were either trying to move me on or trying to break into the van. Either way, not pleasant. I think that if I'd heard them coming in more, I've got a metal pole here, I could have just got out and not done anything. I'm not moving.
Quick question for you. Would you ever sleep alone out in the wilderness with no idea who or what might be lurking nearby? Or would you rather stay tucked up in your own bed, watching other people take those risks from the comfort of your living room? A channel dedicated to unfiltered adventure, spontaneous travel, and the kind of life on the road that most people only ever fantasize about. Tim and his girlfriend Eden had spent the day winding their way through the Sierra Mountains, taking in breathtaking scenery and navigating rugged terrain. After a long but rewarding stretch of driving, they finally pulled into the campground where they'd be spending the night. What neither of them realized was that the real adventure hadn't even started yet.
This is a pretty awesome drive. Like, really awesome. Pretty crazy drive. Really cool up here though. Eden's still cruising right behind me there, not too much further. She's doing pretty awesome with that trailer. Probably like one of the best trailer backers I've ever met. Pretty awesome, she's got it down. All right, y'all, just about there.
I'm like, man, I wish we had rollerblades.
Rollerblades. We're almost here, Sugar Pine State Park. Hey, kill this thing. You're looking pretty good right now. You might just straight up fit. You just come straight back in my driver door. I'm always filming you cooking and not doing stuff like this. That's right, guys. She knew what to do long before me.
I'm just gonna forget out of convenience so you can do it all.
Oh yeah. All right, I think it's gonna work. So we're detaching the Jeep and then she can squeeze right in here and then we're all gonna be happy.
Their reserved spot was nestled deep in the woods, surrounded by dense trees that made maneuvering a trailer no easy task. But Eden took the wheel without hesitation, guiding the camper into position on the very first try. With total composure, with everything set up and the forest growing quiet around them, warm evening light filtered softly through the canopy. It felt like the perfect night out, but that feeling of calm was about to be short-lived.
I didn't see the moon out tonight. Well, that was interesting. I heard someone banging pots and pans and yelling and screaming and a dog freaking out, but it was just a bear someone chased off. But we're good here. We're way off the ground. Getting ready for bed. We'll see you guys in the morning though. I said I was going to bed. I turned you guys off for the night, started making the bed, then I heard a guy literally screaming. This is so good. We're both there with our cameras. People are just, there's pots and pans going off around the campground, and
We're just like,
yeah.
here, let's go look.
Yep. Oh. Gun? Someone shot a gun in the campground?
Shot a gun in the campground.
Are you serious? That's insane. There's people everywhere.
I don't really think you're supposed to shoot.
No, you're definitely not supposed to shoot a gun in the campground.
I think you're supposed to go inside and let the bear do whatever
Yeah.
the bear is doing.
That's a little bit overkill. There's literally people camped everywhere in every direction. Nothing's around here.
I don't think we're gonna hear anything else. They shot a gun. I feel like that's the conclusion.
A gun? All right, there we go. Bed's all made up. Ready. Catch you guys in the morning. Good morning, everyone. We survived the night in Coffeeville.
The shouting between the trees and the sight of a bear roaming the campground didn't send Tim and Eden into a panic. As experienced travelers, they understood wildlife came with the territory, and they knew they were reasonably protected inside the camper. But then, a gunshot rang out in the darkness, and the atmosphere shifted immediately. With families spread out in every direction, that shot wasn't just careless. It was genuinely reckless. A peaceful evening had quickly turned tense. Tim and Eden did their best to wind down and get some sleep, pushing the unease aside. But what greeted them the following morning made the night before feel like just the opening chapter. The evidence was clear.
I haven't filmed anything this morning, but Eden walked outside this morning, and I don't know, you guys have to watch her video to see it, but the bear tried to get in her camper last night while we were camped right here beside it. There's its paws all over the side of the camper. Little nose smudge.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite.
Right there in the window.
This one's a nice little.
Oh yeah, let's see.
That's a good one.
Right there, but it ripped the base of the trim right there, completely off of the door.
Yeah, you got a little tooth print here.
Yep, little tooth mark right there. Walked out this morning, that was like wide open, ripped off.
Yeah, I walked over and it was just like hanging out here, and I was like, bear, bear.
And it came in this side too.
And all over my Jeep.
Yeah, she's got paws in her Jeep. Yeah, look at that. Here you go.
The bear had made an attempt to get inside. The most important thing, though, was that both of them were completely unharmed and somehow still able to find the humor in it all. There was no reason to pack up and leave just yet, but come nightfall, the bears were back.
Oh, you guys hear that? There's people screaming and pots and pans. It's actually a really fun campground to camp in. You just hear people screaming all the time and banging things. Gunshots. Pretty awesome.
Really relaxing.
Yeah, we're ready for them tonight, though.
How are we ready?
We're gonna jump off this porch and ride that bear.
It's like a symphony of color. Oh my god.
I'm gonna hang out with him when he comes over.
So bizarre. So just never got This is so crazy.
Is it eating his leg? Like, what could possibly be going on?
I really want to know if they're like in campers or if they're in tents.
I don't know.
If they're in tents, I feel like this is a much more reasonable response than, not that it's reasonable, but I feel like it's...
Yeah, get the stereo ready. We'll play some music for him. Going off out here, you guys hear that?
Move back.
Move back. It's happening again. They're like right there. This is the best campsite ever. We just keep staying here. It's a definite.
How could you not? Are you not entertained?
It's right there. Oh, I see him, maybe? Yeah, there he is.
Are you seeing a bear?
Yeah, he's like way out there in the street.
Oh yeah, I see him. Yeah, there he is.
Yep.
Oh, he's running this way.
Oh, that's nice. I don't have my bear spray or anything, but
Neither one of us move at all.
I'm in flip-flops. I'm gonna take my flip-flop off and start beating him.
Yeah, he's right there. He's coming our way.
Is he?
He's literally coming straight for us. Okay.
Oh, he's got cubs. Yeah, he's got little ones. Okay. Yeah, they're gonna visit the camp. Oh, they're coming.
From their porch, Tim and Eden watched everything play out in quiet fascination. The mother bear moved deliberately, alert and unhurried, taking stock of her surroundings. Someone nearby discharged a taser into the air, the sharp crackling sound cutting through the night. But the bears barely acknowledged it. These animals had clearly been through this routine before. Even so, Tim and Eden kept their spirits up, genuinely in awe of the wild encounter unfolding right in front of them. Even as sleep became nearly impossible, with the chorus of banging pots, blaring car horns, and panic screams coming from neighboring sites. But that was the deal they'd signed up for. The chaos, the uncertainty, and the moments that take your breath away. One thing was beyond question: this was a trip that would stick with them for a long time to come. In August 2020, a YouTuber known as Phil the Thrill was out on an ATV ride with his buddy Jimmy along a riverbank when something unusual caught their eye. A large sealed container sitting on the rocks with a deflated helium balloon tied to it. Check out what they came across. It had been carried downstream by floodwaters from a heavy rainstorm the previous night. The box had some serious weight to it.
What?
What is that?
Looks like a supply drop or something.
What do you mean? You mean like a supply drop from Call of Duty?
Yeah, or Fortnite bag on it.
Yeah, it has like a bag and it's... Is it open? You want to go look at it? What if there's like supplies in it?
And as they went to pick it up, something shifted inside. Then they noticed a note fastened to the outside. What it said stopped them dead in their tracks. With sadness, I'm writing this letter because I can no longer take care of her. Please take care of her. They secured the container onto the ATV and bolted home.
It's gonna breathe if it's alive.
I don't know.
I mean, it's pretty...
The hole right
It's
there.
pretty heavy. Those are air holes, right?
I don't want a dog. I stop by Tommy's house and give it to him.
Oh, this is what it is. That's what they filled it with helium.
Yeah, it looked like it popped, though.
Yeah, it popped. That's why it fell. It must have just fell in the river there and floated downstream. Don't drop it, all right? It could be a dog. Whoa. Careful, careful. It's heavy. Did it just move?
I don't know.
I felt something move in there.
Nearly getting into a confrontation with an angry woman along the way. Once they managed to cut through the ropes and break open the lock, nothing could have prepared them for what was inside. A living baby girl, abandoned and set adrift on the river. Phil dialed 911 without hesitation. The infant was returned to her parents not long afterward. But how much time had that box been drifting through the water? Who makes the decision to send a child floating downstream and just hopes for the best? In 2025...
What's wrong?
Why are you driving so fast? I'm going to water.
I'm going the speed limit.
No, you don't. No, I'm gonna call you parents.
My parents?
Yes.
For what?
You've been driving this all day long.
Why are you gonna call my mom? Please don't.
You can drive this here. Got kids playing over there, the kids playing over there, the school is over there.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Please don't tell my mom. My mom's gonna spank me.
I'm gonna go tell you that right now.
No, please. My parents are gonna spank me if you do that.
Tell me, what are you doing?
A man working alone in the Malaysian jungle suddenly realized a tiger had been shadowing his every move. He barely scrambled up a tree in time to escape. For hours he held on tight up in those branches, while the tiger prowled in circles beneath him, completely unwilling to move on.
I'll turn around.
Turn around!
I have to go home though. My house is that way. How am I gonna get home? Okay, I'll turn around. Some lady just yelled at me on the way here.
What?
She said like she's mad because I was riding the quad on the street because there's kids playing, even though there's like no kids here.
I've never seen any kids here.
The box didn't fall off. If it fell, it could have been smushed by a car or something. Oh, careful. Careful, dude. It's in the shade here. Okay. Put it down here. Let's cut this open. This knife is just freshly sharpened. There we go. Lock is undone. Yeah, they really tied this up nice. Now just pull everything out. Pull it all out. Pull it off. Let's see what's in here. What the?
Whoa.
There's a baby in here?
What the hell?
Wait, what are we gonna do with this?
Weird.
How is it?
It's kind of cute.
Yeah, it's a cute baby.
I wonder what her name is.
All right, let's take her out. Here, it's okay. It's okay. Look, it's okay. She's.
Can I grab her?
Yeah, grab her. Yeah, take her out, take her out. It's okay.
Whoa. Hell? What's wrong? Every time he considered making a break for it, the animal was still down there, eyes locked on him. Only when darkness finally swallowed the jungle did the tiger seem to vanish. And that's when he dropped down and sprinted. How long had that tiger been trailing him before he ever sensed its presence? And did it actually leave, or was it simply waiting somewhere just out of sight? A group of friends headed out into the woods for a camping trip, and at some point during the night, they snapped a picture while enjoying themselves. It wasn't until they reviewed the photo afterward that something unsettling caught their eye. Lurking in the background, a bear had been silently observing them from afar. If anyone had spotted it in that moment, the whole evening could have turned into an absolute nightmare. Safe to say they got pretty fortunate that the bear chose to keep its distance and move on. Jenna Alexis, a solo outdoor content creator well known for her wilderness camping videos, begins this particular journey deep in the backcountry of Crown Land. It wasn't her first time out there alone, but what started as a quiet, restorative escape would quickly take a turn towards something deeply unsettling. The early part of the outing has a steady, grounded rhythm. She crosses a shallow river by walking across logs, scouts the area for dry, standing deadwood to use as fuel, and works through the familiar routine of felling timber, dragging logs, and splitting out fat wood to get her fire going.
This guy. I don't know how I didn't see that when I was walking in, but I'm going to cut this down. These standing dead trees in your camp are called widowmakers because they can squish you in the middle of the night should they fall or should a gust of wind blow them over. It is a dead tree. I'm not harming any of the living trees around here. So we're going to be taking that down for safety and for firewood. I cut a notch in my tree facing that way because I want it to fall that way, but it has a bit of a lean that way. So I'm going to stay on the side. So either way it decides to fall, I'm going to get out of the way really fast, but I'm hoping I can get it to go in that gap over there. That was sick. Falling trees can obviously be very dangerous, and for that reason I don't like to go against the laws of gravity, but there were some trees on the other side that were alive that I didn't want to hit and have the tree land on, and it worked.
As her camp comes together, every decision Jenna makes reflects a genuine understanding of backcountry survival. She identifies a tree sturdy enough to hang her bear-resistant food bag, a non-negotiable precaution in grizzly territory. Her shelter goes up with care, a tight ridgeline strung between two trunks, her tarp staked down with pegs and paracord. Even her firewood selection is deliberate, steering clear of any living trees nearby. The setup is stripped down but solid, a low-profile tarp configuration that speaks to both her competence and her no-frills philosophy. But that calm doesn't last. The first warning sign arrives earlier in the day than anyone would expect, when a white SUV rolls up near where she's parked. A man steps out and walks toward her, explaining that he's trying to retrieve something he and his girlfriend had left behind on a previous trip.
Goodbye to the campsite that once almost was. I don't think I left anything. Okay. Barely got everything in my bag because I didn't fold everything properly. I'm just trying to get out of here. I have half my stuff in my food bag. It's gonna be okay. He's not here right now. This is where he pulled out to, and he literally took a look at me and turned around and pulled out. But I know it was the same car. It was like a white SUV with a bag over the back of his window. And he turned around and I saw that same bag. So yeah, I'm fucking out of here. Even if that guy didn't mean any harm and he was just trying to camp here, I don't like when somebody knows where I'm camping when I'm by myself. I want to be hidden and unseen, and I don't want some man to know that I'm alone in the woods.
On the surface, it sounds harmless enough, but Jenna's instincts kick in immediately. Rather than heading out toward her campsite and potentially tipping him off to her location, she chooses to wait inside her van. What unsettles her further is how long the man stays out in the trees, far longer than the story he gave her would warrant. She quietly moves toward his vehicle, taking note of the heavily tinted windows and a bag blocking the view through the rear glass. With no way to tell whether someone else might be inside, she walks a slow loop around the SUV. She also makes a point of memorizing the license plate number, a small but telling sign of just how much this interaction has rattled her.
This morning, I got here pretty early, and and I pulled out to the spot that I thought was going to be my spot for the night, and I was getting my backpack, getting ready to leave the car, when this white SUV pulled up, and this guy walked out, and he walked up to my campsite, or where my car was parked, and he was like, hey, me and my girlfriend were here this morning, and I left something, I'm just going to go look for it. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. But I wanted to wait inside the van until he got back out of the woods and left, so that I knew he wasn't like still out there, and that he wouldn't know where I was going to hike to. So I was waiting in the car for like a while, and it started to get suspicious that he was like out in the woods for that long. And so I walked up to his car, first of all to get the license plate, but also to see if his girlfriend was actually in there. But the windows were like heavily tinted to the point that I couldn't even see in. But I walked like up and around the car, so I would assume if the girlfriend was in there, she would have like saw me and been like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? So I walked around the car, I couldn't see if there was someone inside. I got the license plate and I went back to my car.
She pushes herself to refocus and lean into the reason she came out here in the first place. But the damage is done. There's a visible unease that clings to everything she does, splitting wood, rigging her shelter, getting ready for nightfall, all while the thought of that man lingers in the background. He knows she's here. He knows she's by herself, tucked away in the middle of nowhere. The moment that changes, everything comes later that evening. Heading back toward her tarp, Jenna spots what looks unmistakably like the same white SUV from earlier. The details line up too precisely to dismiss. The body style, the bag draped over the rear window, the identical make and color. The vehicle rolls in slowly, then reverses and disappears. Not a single word is spoken, but none are needed.
The sky was beautiful, the weather was great, I was having a great time out there, got a lot done, and then like 4 p.m. rolls around and I see that same car. I know it was the same car because when I looked at the license plate, I saw his back window was gone and he just had like a garbage bag over it. And I saw a white SUV pull up in the distance, and then I saw it like stop where I'm pretty sure he saw me, and then he turned around and left, and as he was leaving I saw that like garbage bag on the back. I was very uneasy, like why did I see that man twice? Why did I never see his girlfriend that he mentioned? Why was he driving around a bunch of different campsites all day? I also don't like the vibe I got from him in the first place, and I just needed to get out of here. But that does really bother me because it sucks that I can't just come out here and have a good time. Like I have to be worried about some creepy man wandering around at night. I like being a girl. Don't get me wrong, I love being a woman, I love femininity, but there are times in life I wish I was a man so that I didn't have to feel this type of way. Like, I already get nervous and kind of scared every time I come out and camp alone, but I usually just work through it because usually it's all in my head. Usually I just have to be strong and be brave and like work.
Whether this person was deliberately tracking her movements or simply happened to pass through twice is something she can't say for certain. But as far as Jenna is concerned, the situation has crossed a line she's not willing to ignore. Her sense of security is gone, and staying the night is no longer an option she's willing to entertain. What had been planned as a peaceful solo overnight turns into a rushed teardown. She grabs her gear without worrying about how neatly it's packed and heads straight for her van. Getting out in one piece has become the only goal. On her way out, she makes a point of stressing how important it is to stay alert and trust your gut when you're out alone, particularly as a woman in an isolated setting. What's your take on what happened here? Project Amber is a British YouTube channel that follows the solo adventures of a traveler and his dog Lance as they make their way across Europe and the UK in a converted ex-ambulance camper van. It's May 4th, 2018, and in this particular video, CJ finds himself deep in the French countryside, parked up at an overgrown remote campsite while attempting to fix a broken fridge in his van. The location is completely cut off from the outside world, swallowed up by thick woodland, with absolutely no trace of civilization anywhere in sight. As CJ casually films a vlog update, his dog Lance starts behaving oddly, locking his gaze down a nearby trail, as though he's picked up on something his owner simply can't detect.
I'm starting to have second thoughts about this, but if it works for the internet, it can work for me. There's the gargling noise. Always making some weird noises. It didn't say how long to leave it. Just until the gargling stops. I don't really want to put my head near it. Maybe that's it. Oh. There's rock. It's still warm in there. Why are you warm? Right. Now I'm sure with house fridges you're supposed to... No. Right, so I'm pretty sure with a house fridge, if you move it, you're supposed to leave it like 12 or 24 hours to settle, for the gas to settle. Now I've just flipped it upside down and back again, so I'm going to give it the full 24 hours, I think, to... What are you looking at? You keep freaking me out, dog.
Even while CJ is occupied with the fridge repair, Lance remains visibly on edge, fixated on something lurking out in the trees. CJ doesn't think much of it at first, but that uneasy moment turns out to be just the opening act of something genuinely strange. An encounter that will cast a long shadow over what was supposed to be a quiet, peaceful trip.
Have you seen something I'm not? There's actually a well, just where I'm parked. You go down this little track, and there's a well with a big metal bar on it. And originally I was going to go and park there, and I saw the well. Instantly started thinking about the ring, which when I think it was about 10 when it came out, scared the shit out of me. For like a month I didn't sleep properly. So yeah, I'm not staying there. Okay, I'm seriously freaked out now. A minute ago I could hear like really loud moaning, like just booming across the mountains. So I've come down to where I could hear it. I got to this old well and it stopped. I mean, that thing's wild freaky. It's like something out of the ring. But just as soon as I got here, just from over there's no track or anything, it's just wood. This girl appeared, dressed kind of like a monk, no shoes, and no hair. So I said bonjour and that, and she responded. I asked if she was okay, but she didn't respond then. She just carried on walking. So I carried on a bit and then thought I better double check. Went to go and find her again. She's gone. So up that way, that's where my van is, and that goes to the road. But down where she went that way, there's nothing, and there's nothing for miles. Where did she go? I'm gonna leave.
Before long, CJ starts picking up loud, unsettling moaning sounds drifting through the trees. Driven by curiosity and a growing sense of unease, he heads out to investigate and stumbles upon something he never could have anticipated. A barefoot woman, dressed in what appears to be a nun's habit, drifting silently through the forest. He attempts to make contact, but she doesn't acknowledge him at all. When he turns back moments later to get another look, she's completely vanished, only to materialize again shortly after, gliding wordlessly between the trees once more. CJ later revisited the entire ordeal in a follow-up video, opening up about just how deeply unsettling the whole experience had been, the kind of thing that feels ripped straight from the pages of a horror script.
It was just from an Instagram story. I didn't have any cameras with me really. My phone camera at the time was a bit naff. And I just wasn't thinking, I wasn't really doing YouTube all that much at this point. So to me, it was just like, get on a story. So as it was happening, people were seeing it, my friends were seeing it, all this sort of stuff. Okay, I'm seriously freaked out now. A minute ago I could hear like really loud moaning, like just booming across the mountains. So I've come down to where I could hear it. I got to this old well and it stopped. But just as soon as I got here, just from over there's no track or anything, it's just wood. This girl appeared, dressed kind of like a monk, no shoes, and no hair. So I said bonjour and that, and she responded. I asked if she was okay, but she didn't respond then. She just carried on walking. So I carried on a bit and then thought I better double check. Went to go and find her again. She's gone. That way, that's where my van is, and that goes to the road. But down where she went that way, there's nothing, and there's nothing for miles. Where did she go? So I start by explaining what's going on, and that I'm getting a bit freaked out, and the well and all that sort of stuff. Girl, nowhere. Girl. Still losing my voice from up top. Bushmills will sort me out. Girl still nowhere to be seen. Now I start walking back up the hill towards the van, and just by chance I spin round and I can see movement again. So I get the phone back out, get ready for the story again, and I get that tiniest little clip of her walking back. And I'm like, well, where's she going? She's gone from nothing in the woods to even thicker nothing in the woods. And my phone is starting to beep from friends and stuff like, what the hell is going on? Where are you? And I'm starting to get a bit of a pace on to get back to the van. It's still quite a climb to get to it. And it's now where things just get inexplainably freaky, because this girl now manages to teleport from one side of the forest to the other. Only way to explain it properly is with a little diagram. So van's up here, here's the well, this is where I've come back from my dog walk. So the point I'm here, and I spotted her and got the clip walking back, she was walking back into these trees. She's gone from over here, and then I saw her about here, this side of the forest, and she was sprinting through the woods, full blown, like going for it, legs, arms flailing, going for it through the woods. And even now I can see it, and it's just like, oh. For obvious reasons, I didn't stop to get the camera out at this point. I ran. There is no explanation on how she got from where I last saw her to that bit. And bear in mind, she had no shoes on. She was sprinting through nettles, branches, fallen trees, God knows what, woodland floor, in no shoes. What the f? Now I begin to run, as you do. No more footage is taken. My phone then starts going. That's my friend Katie, who's been watching the Instagram story, and she's like, what the f? Get out of there now. And I'm like, I'm trying. Getting the van going. The fridge is still hanging out. There's stuff everywhere because I haven't packed it down ready for driving yet. Bollocks to it all. The suspension hasn't come up, but I'm like, it. I'm off. Get me out of here now. Wheels spin out of the car park, and it's this tiny little single lane mountain track to get back through, weaving and curving round rocks, and all I can think is I'm just going to come around a hairpin corner and she's just going to be stood there in the road. Not even going to man it up here. I was shit myself. I was properly scared of this teenage girl with no hair. I think in the video I say I drove like 50 miles. That was probably an exaggeration. Adrenaline was still pumping at this point. No, I drove like probably 2 towns over, which was still about 10 miles. I was like down off the mountain track, raz through this village, onto a dual carriageway, further towards Italy, and then I found this area that was like near some houses, so I was like, you know, safety in numbers. I wasn't sticking around. I left. I booted it. I saw the girl another 2 times. The last time I was near the van, and she was running through the forest. Yeah, it's a pretty big mess in here. And that was that, really. I have no explanation. I have no willingness to return to get an explanation. But from that, it sort of faded away. Like, people watched it. It kind of become a bit of a joke between me and my friends and those who saw it on the Instagram story or the later video. But it's only, I'd say, this year where it's kind of re-emerged and gone.
What an absolutely spine-tingling and deeply disturbing encounter. The sheer number of questions this footage leaves you with is staggering. Who was this woman? What was she doing out there alone? Why was she dressed like a nun and walking through a forest with no shoes on? How was she moving so quietly, almost as if she were simply blinking from one spot to another? And what on earth possessed her to suddenly charge toward him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. But one thing nobody can argue with, this is one experience CJ will never forget. YouTuber Novus Wild Camper made his way out to the Peak District in December 2021 for one final camping trip to close out the year. A follower on Facebook had pointed him toward White Edge and Big Moor, and since he'd been working nearby, he figured it was worth exploring. Fingers crossed for clear conditions and some great shots after dark.
Somehow again, last camp of 2021, and for a change, somewhere different. So I'm at the Peak District. Been working up this way, so thought I'd take the opportunity to come and sneak out into Mesna country. Did a request on Facebook for places to go, so I've picked out somewhere which Dan Jones sent me. So thanks, Dan, if you're watching. Hopefully it'll be a good one. It's not too far a walk from the car park. Hopefully some good views. It's fairly clear at the moment, if you can see. The moon's out behind me. It's looking like quite a nice evening. Temperature shouldn't get down too low, but hopefully in for a clear night. So I might be able to try and get some decent night shots, which would be good. So I'm heading up to White Edge, Big Moor, around that area. Have a look. I haven't got a clue what it's going to be like. but it's been recommended, so hopefully we should be all right.
He scouted out a spot with stunning scenery all around, mist hanging low in the valleys, the sky burning pink as the sun dipped below the horizon, and the moon climbing up above him. He pitched his tent, cooked up some food, and settled in, fully expecting a quiet, peaceful night beneath the stars.
Some lovely views. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or doing it justice. Got some low mist down there in the valleys. I've seen a lot of people go, ooh, cloud inversion. It's low mist, it's not a cloud inversion. There's a lovely pink sky over there. And the moon just up there, but can't see it on the screen. Got my usual soba noodles for this evening. And my leftover adventure food. I didn't eat it on the last trip. I literally just got up in the morning, had a coffee, packed and went. Speaking of which, whole bag of coffees. Should keep me going. And this time, I remember my JD. So, happy days. I don't think I'm going to be doing much more. It's about 9:30 now. So I'm probably going to hit the sack shortly and...
Then, somewhere around 9:30 in the evening, something started making noise out there. Whatever it was, sounded strange enough to make him pull his zip shut and reach for his earplugs, trying to drift off while that unsettling cry continued somewhere out in the dark.
Right, so I've heard deer, I've heard foxes make some really weird noises at night. But I don't know if you heard that. Not sure if the camera picked it up, but God knows what it is. It's quite a weird guttural sound. I'll try and boost it on the edit, see if you can hear it, because that is really weird. Did you hear that? That's quite eerie. It does not sound like a deer. Definitely doesn't sound like a fox. Odd. Right, I'm going to zip up and put my earplugs in, I think. Try and get some sleep, and hopefully I'll still be here in the morning. Good night. Good morning. I'm acting like I've just woke up. It's about 7 o'clock. I've been up since 5. Just trying to get some morning shots, which I posted up on Instagram and Facebook. Don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's a very weird sounding bird. Sounds like a kookaburra with a sore throat. It's not going to do it now. It's fairly close to camp, but apart from those weird noises last...
He stirred again at 5 in the morning and spent the early hours chasing the sunrise with his camera, the odd sounds from the previous night already beginning to feel distant. Whether it turned out to be some unfamiliar bird call or something he couldn't quite explain, he'd survived the night and walked away with yet another tale worth sharing. Late one night, a man stepped out of his cabin after being woken up by a strange noise outside. He figured it was probably just an animal or the wind. He figured wrong. Crouching behind a nearby tree was a pale girl dressed entirely in white. Her movements were deeply unsettling, her body contorted in ways it shouldn't, accompanied by these sharp cracking sounds, like a glow stick being snapped past its breaking point. She began slowly making her way toward him, which was all the motivation he needed to bolt back inside. That wasn't the end of it, though. She showed up at his window moments later, staring in like there was absolutely nothing unusual about any of this. Then,
who are you?
As if things couldn't get any stranger, he spotted her again, suspended upside down from a tree branch. Here's where it gets really bizarre.
Can you hear?
He grabbed his friend to come witness it, but his friend couldn't see a single thing. Needless to say, that camping trip was wrapped up well ahead of schedule.